5 years ago, Tom was diagnosed with a serious kidney disease. No matter how hard the doctors tried, one kidney had to be removed, and the other half died. According to the forecast, he did not have long to live with such an affected organ, so Tom was put on the transplant list. Among the relatives, no one was suitable for the role of a donor for health reasons, and then they decided to wait for the case. During this time, the life of my friend more than once hung in the balance, only hemodialysis saved. But then, in March of the year before last, Tom got a call from the clinic and demanded to come urgently. A suitable organ appeared. I took him myself and waited for the operation to end. Everything went well, and 6 months later we could even drink beer together. The new kidney worked like clockwork. Tom returned to a normal human life, and everything would be fine if not for the strange thoughts that began to visit him. At first, this manifested itself in philosophical conversations on the topic of life and death, which was unusual for Tom before the operation. Then my friend began to study on the internet various ways of settling accounts with life. Directly obsessed with this topic and could spend hours telling various suicidal cases. Because of these hobbies, the girl left him. She could not stand the oppressive atmosphere. I confess, I myself began to think about whether to break off relations with a childhood friend. But I did not have time to do this. It so happened that Tom disappeared for several days, and no one knew where he was. In the end, the mother decided to start looking and came to his apartment. There she discovered the corpse of her son. He was lying in a bathtub filled with bloody water. The police said that Tom chose the softest way to die, took a warm bath, cut his veins on his wrists and bled to death. Like falling asleep. After the funeral, Tom's mother, sorting through his things, found a diary in which his son described his strange visions that he had after a kidney transplant operation. It was as if he lived in two parallel worlds. In one he was Tom, and in the other he was a kind of Jeffrey. And this Jeffrey just dreamed of dying and gradually infected my friend with this obsession. After reading these revelations, I had one hypothesis, but in order to test it, I had to contact Tom's doctor. He reacted with understanding and, having slightly exceeded his authority, found out the necessary information. As it turned out, the kidney donor was a man named Jeffrey, who, being in excellent physical condition, committed suicide due to mental illness. And he did it the same way Tom did, in a bath of hot water. Here is such a gloomy story. Let everyone decide for himself how to understand all this.
Thank you for your attention. Subscribe to the channel.